Hi everyone, welcome to today's editorial discussion dated 20th July 2022. Today we are taking two topics for discussion. One is about the making of new constitution in Chile, a South American country, and how significance of the constitutionalism, how it can impact the development of a country. We will discuss about that. The second article is about the recent controversy regarding national emblem in the new Parliament Vista project. So I welcome you all to the discussion. So the first topic is about making of new constitution in the South American country of Chile. So this topic marks its significance to the following aspect of our syllabus. We can connect it to GS paper 1 on physical geography and also on the bilateral relationship, and also to some portion of the importance of constitutionalism. Okay, first of all we will look into the location of the country Chile. It lies in the South American continent, and it is a coastal country to the South Pacific Ocean. Okay, so it is bordered by Argentina, Bolivia, Peru. So these are the main countries that borders with Chile. Okay, let's look into what is this constitutionalism all about and its concept. The concept constitutionalism can be defined as a mechanism that provides legitimacy to a democratic government. Okay, so what does it mean? So for any democratic government, that means a government chosen by people, has legitimacy only when his power is obtained from a constitution. So here the supremacy of constitution prevails. This concept of providing supremacy to the constitution is known as constitutionalism. So, but it should not be confused with the legality of the acts of officials of government system. Okay, it is not, this concept is not based upon the legality of the act of government system, and also it is far more important than a written constitution. That means if a country which do not have a written constitution, it can be also be called following the concept of constitutionalism. A best example for this is Britain. You know that Britain does not have a written constitution, but it is mainly based on its parliamentary conventions, customs. Okay, so some basic principles that developed over the time which embody the concept of constitutionalism are separation of powers, judicial control, and accountable government. Although constitutionalism primarily means significance of constitution, but over the period of time several other attributes also comes to the concept, such as separation of powers, judicial control, and an accountable government. Okay, this following concept also embodies the concept of constitutionalism. So let us look in the context of this news. Recently, the Chilean Assembly has elected a new assembly for drafting constitution. We know that our country also post-independent had a constituent assembly for drafting constitution. Similarly, recently Chile also established an assembly for drafting the constitution. So why such a move by Chilean government? This is mainly because from the provision of the current constitution, it became a source of social inequality. There was so much social inequality proliferated in the society of Chile, the divide between have and have-nots. So what the current activities believe that the new constitution will help in establishing social equality, and it will also help in creating a new relationship with indigenous peoples and their community and the state. On this aspect, then it was decided to frame a new constitution. So let us look into the backdrop on which this framing of new constitution came. Chile is actually a very new democracy. Its transition to democracy occurred in 1990. But post this transition to democracy, the constitution was amended in so many ways in order to take out the anti-democratic features of the constitution. This is mainly because in order to support the free market philosophies. What did this made? This allowed the private sector to grow very deeply. As a result of this, there was a concentration of wealth in the minuscule minority in Chile. So what happens when wealth gets concentrated in few hands? Obvious, it will lead to what is known as social inequality in the society. So there was huge protest against this. As a result, the new conservative president named Sebastian Pinera took up a vote for the new constitution, as a result of which 78% of the Chileans favored replacing the charter with a new document. So let us look into how this demand arose. So initially there was a protest on the increase in fares of metro. So initially there was a protest for increase in fares for metro transportation, which later became a very huge public agitation. We already recently had such an experience in several other countries like Tunisia, Libya, which is known as Jasmine Revolution, a revolution which led to the toppling of many autocratic or authoritarian regimes and later translated into democratic government. Likewise, such a revolution or such an agitation took place in Chile. This latter demand rose to such an aspect that they wanted an abolition in the private pension fund and an increase in the investment in education and health care and strengthening the right of indigenous community. So in the whole sum, this whole aspect culminated in creation of new constitution. So let us look into the composition of the current Constitution Assembly of Chile. Currently, for making the constitution, there are 155 drafting members. And the interesting aspect is that half of the delegates are women in the assembly. So it is a very good move because so that we can have a balanced gender perspective while drafting the constitution. Despite these political and procedural challenges, it offers a fresh opportunity for Chile to say goodbye to a dark era. So, making up of the new constitution is a reformative step as far as Chile is concerned. What will this new charter mean to Chile? It will pave the way for a new inclusive social and economic system which will pave way for the social economical development of the country as a whole. Thus, the new constitution will lead to a hope for development in Chile. Now let us look into the general aspect of the pros and cons for having a constitution. First of all, look into what are the pros. So the first one is in constitutionalism, the constitution is always supreme. Okay, our country like India, is the constitution supreme or people is supreme? Obvious. In our country, it is the people who is supreme. It is the people who gave power to the constitution. And second aspect is that it avoids dictatorship by rulers. We know that in several countries in the continents like Africa, which do not have any constitution, is facing dictatorship rule by the rulers. Examples like Uganda, Kenya, where lot of civil war and other activities are faced by the current people is mainly due to the dictatorship by rulers. A recent example for such a dictatorship-like ruling is from Sri Lanka, which led to collapse of the whole economy of Sri Lanka. And the third factor is that it will reduce the clash of functions of the arms of government. It is a very important factor because it embodies the concept of separation of powers. So Constitution clearly classifies the powers of the all the three wings such as executive, judiciary and legislature. So, so having a written constitution will reduce the clash of function of arms of government. And fourth is the judiciary has more power in order to ensure constitutional supremacy. An example for this can be observed from our own constitution, like Article 32 of our constitution, giving judicial review for the judiciary to slash down any undemocratic legislation by the legislature or action by the executive. Constitution is majorly flexible. Through this, there are institutions where written constitution is rigid. Okay. And also this written constitution help in realize the ideals of a country should achieve. Likewise, we have ideals like democracy, socialism, etc. Thus, a written constitution will help to realize these ideals. What are the cons in having a written constitution? The first and foremost factor is that a written constitution is difficult to amend and it takes time. Although it is said that for an ideal constitution should be organic in nature, but there will always be a difficulty to amend the constitution. The second factor is that it may not favor every part of the state. That means there are several aspects of a state like executive, legislature, but in some instances there will be biasness to a particular wing of the state, which is very negative character of a written constitution. Third is it encourages frequent litigation. This is one of the main issues of the Indian constitution, where there are judicial pendency problem occurs. And there will be a delay in government activities due to this frequent litigation. Okay, these are some of the cons of having a written constitution. So what are that? It is very difficult to amend. Every part of the state do not have equal status. There will be frequent litigation leading to pendency of cases and delay in government activities. For Chile, what is the way forward? According to the author, the constitution should be framed in such a way that it idealizes the goal of Chileans. Of course, constitution should be always framed based on the wills or the ideals that the state have to achieve. So it should recognize various rights of individuals and provide space for development of individuals. So Chile is now set for its biggest political challenge since its transition. So the framing of this constitution will get rid of the authoritarian regime and social economic inequality. So what the author says that the framing of the constitution will help Chile in idealizing its goals and also reducing its social inequality and paves way for development. So let's look into some of the bilateral aspect of relation between India and Chile. So Chile is India's window to Latin America. We know that Latin America is a growing market for India products, and especially Chile, which is a bed for lithium deposit, is very crucial for India in the coming era of e-vehicle transition. So forging a good alliance with Chile is very essential, and as a result of this, it acts as a window to Latin America. Also, in the Latin American region, Chile is the fifth largest trading partner, and we have a preferential trade agreement. So what is this preferential trade agreement? It is nothing but reducing customs and tariff preferentially by discussing by the two countries for certain goods and services. And also in the international grouping like International Solar Alliance, which is backed by India, also includes in Chile and India as its partners. So also there are a lot of memorandum of understanding signed by these two countries. Also Chile favors reforms in UNSC, which is a long demanded one by India. So now let us look into some of the previous year questions. So although this looks easy, but a close study of Atlas is required for answering such questions. So let us look into the first statement. The island of Trinidad lies in South Atlantic Ocean. That is, South America includes 14 countries. These are trivial questions. You know that this Trinidad Island is an island which mainly falls in the Central American region, and it is mainly in the North Atlantic Ocean. So the first statement itself is incorrect. And second statement, we must note the fact that 14 countries are there in South America. So the answer is B. So let's look into which are these 14 countries. One is Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Falkland Island, which is a UK territory, French Guiana, Paraguay, Peru, Suriname, Uruguay, and Venezuela. So remember there are 14 countries in South America. The next one is an important physical feature in asked in world geography, that is Atacama Desert, which is the driest place in the earth, is located. Of course, we must remember it is in Chile. Later we will study about why it is the driest place on the earth, mainly because of the cold current present in the Pacific Ocean. Okay. So Atacama is the driest place on the earth. It receives less than 1 millimeter of precipitation each year. Some areas haven't seen a drop of rain in more than 500 years. So the next topic is regarding a controversy relating to the new national emblem. Recently, a new national emblem was unveiled in the new parliamentary complex, and there was a controversy regarding to this. So let's analyze what is it. It related to the following aspect of syllabus, like it to Indian culture, and second is the policies by the government. Okay. So what is the contest? Why it is in news? Recently, the Honorable Prime Minister of India unveiled a 6.5 meter tall national emblem in the new Parliament building recently. This figure shows the new national emblem. So recently a new national emblem was unveiled in the new parliamentary complex. So let's look. look out what the state of emblem of India is. The state emblem of India is the national emblem of Republic of India and is used by government, both union and state, and other government agencies. So what is this national emblem? It is an emblem which is issued by the government and used by government for its official purpose. So let us look into the historical aspect of this national emblem. This state of emblem is an adaptation from the Sarnath line capital of Ashoka. We know that Ashoka, who is a famous ruler in ancient Indian times, had erected this emblem where in Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, and this emblem is known as Sarnath Lion Capital of Ashoka. So let's look into the intrinsic aspect of this emblem. It has 4 lions standing back to back, and the relief also has several other animals like elephant, a galloping horse, bull, and a lion separated by intervening the wheels over a bell-shaped lotus. Aspects are very important in prelims examination. It is in the shape of lotus, and these are the 4 animals like bull, horse, etc. And the significance of this emblem is that it is carved out of a single block, that is, it is monolithic. It is carved out of a single block, and it is crowned by wheel of law known as Dharma Chakra. Actually, on the top of the head of this line there is wheel of law. It is not adapted to the emblem, but actual pillar had that wheel of law on the top of it. When was this adopted? It was adopted on 26 January 1950. That is the day on which we got Republic. Only 3 lions are visible, while the 4th being hidden from the view. And each and every part of this emblem has certain significance. The wheel appears in the relief in the center of the abacus, with a bull on the right and a horse on the left. The bell-shaped lotus has been omitted. So this bell is also, likewise we know that there is a lotus-shaped bell on that. On that this pillar stands, and this has been omitted. So let us look into the significance of these various animals. First one is a galloping horse on the west. What does it represent? It represents that it represents which Buddha is said to have used for living his princely life. So we know when we discuss about the life of Buddha, he gave away all his princely life, and it is believed that it is on this horse he used for living this princely life. And the second figure is that of an elephant, which is located on the east, and it mainly depicts the dream of Q Maya. Maya is mother of Buddha, and it depicts the dream of Maya. And a bull in south, which is a zodiac sign of Taurus. Taurus, the month in which Buddha was born. And a lion in the north, which is a symbol of attainment of enlightenment. So these are the main significance. You must have a notice on this. These are very important trivial facts. Okay. So what this horse represent? It represents Buddha living his princely life. Elephant represents the dream of Queen Maya, and bull represents the zodiac sign of Taurus, and lion represents the attainment of enlightenment. Then what are the other features? In this emblem there is a writing like Satyameva Jayate. What does it mean? It means that truth alone triumphs, and it is taken from the Mundaka Upanishad. and it is written in which script? Devanagari script. And the other aspect is the capital is crowned by wheel of law, which is known as Dharma Chakra. Okay, so the four lions symbolize the Buddha spreading Dharma in all directions. So the four lion on this emblem, what does it symbolize? It symbolizes Buddha spreading Dharma in all directions. Okay, it was built on the commemoration of the first sermon by Buddha, known as Dharma Chakra Pravartana. So the first commemoration of Buddha is known as Dharma Chakra Pravartana, and this emblem was depicted on the first sermon function of Buddha. So now look into the legal provisions regarding the use of national emblem. This national emblem is under or established under which Act? State Emblem of India Prohibition of Improper Use Act of 2005 and State Emblem of India Regulation of Use Rules 2007. So these both Act prevents the misuse of the national emblem, and there is strict punishment or imprisonment of up to 2 years or fine up to 2,000 whoever violates this provision of this act. Let us look in the usage. It is mainly used as letterhead by all government. It is used in currency, used in passport, and Ashoka Chakra is taken in national flag also. The 24-spoked wheel, which is known as Ashoka Chakra, is taken in our national flag also. So other places where it is used is main government buildings like Rashtrapati Bhavan, Parliament House, Supreme Court, High Court, Central Secretariat, other Secretariat buildings of state and union territories, Raj Bhavan, state legislature, premises of Indian diplomatic missions abroad, residence of head of missions in countries of their accreditation, and entrance door of buildings occupied by Indian consulates abroad. So wherever there is an significant government presence, these emblems are used. This emblem marks huge significance. So let us know more about the Mauryan pillars. The Mauryan pillars are rock-cut pillars. So it is mainly rock-cut pillars are erected by the Mauryan dynasty. The stone pillars were erected by Ashoka mainly in the North Indian part of the Mauryan Empire. Okay, all capital figures are vigorous and carved standing out in square or circular abacus. So the capital figures are very vigorous and very intrinsic in its look, and it is mainly standing on square and circular abacus. Examples for Mauryan pillars are Lauriya Nandagar in Bihar, Ashok Pillar in Sanji, Madhya Pradesh, Lion Capital at Sarnath, Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Are the pictures. This is Lauriya Nandagar Pillar. Look at the polishing of this. This is mainly erected in a single stone, monolithic in nature. So this is Ashoka Pillar at Sanji, Madhya Pradesh, and this is our capital, which is taken from Sarnath, Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. So some other trivial factors are, what are some other national symbols of India? First one is our national flag. Okay, our national flag is a horizontal tricolor Indian saffron on the top. That means in our national flag on the top we have a saffron and white in the middle and green at the bottom in equal proportion. The ratio of width of the flag to its length is 2 to 3. So the ratio of width to length is 2 by 3. The center of the white band is a navy blue wheel which represents the chakra. An important aspect from this is when it was adopted. It was adopted even before we we had attained our republic status. It was adopted on 22nd July 1947. The national flag was adopted on 22nd July 1947. And next is national anthem. That is our national anthem, which is the song status of Jana Gana Mana, which is originally written in Bengali by Rabindranath Tagore, was adopted in its Hindi version by the Constitution Assembly, and it is adopted even before we are attaining republic, that is on 24th January 1950. These are important. And when it was first sung, it was first sung on 27 December 1911 at the Calcutta session of Indian National Congress. So see, these are some important facts. What is then about our national song? Our national song is Vande Mataram. It is composed in Sanskrit by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. This is also adopted even before we are attaining republic, that is on January 24th, 1950. Our national animal is our magnificent tiger, which is scientifically known as Panthera tigris, and is a striped animal. It has a thick yellow coat of fur with dark stripes. The next is our national flower, which is lotus. Let us look why the Constituent Assembly embraced this Sarnath pillar as our national emblem. Because our constitution maker felt that this pillar epitomized the power. That means it reflected the power, courage, and confidence of a free nation. You know that Mauryan Empire was such a strong empire of that time, and these symbols signify the power, courage, and confidence of a free nation. Also, in the Mundagaba Upanishad writing like Satyameva Jayate marks significance of the importance given to the truth in governance. So what is this current controversy all about? Recently a emblem of about 6,500 kg was unveiled by our Prime Minister. But the lions in these figures look too aggressive, which was criticized by many. So this marked the main controversy regarding the new emblem. So just look into some of the previous year questions that was asked. First is the national motto of India, Satyameva Jayate, inscribed below the emblem of India, is taken out from, of course it is a trivial question, we must remember it is taken from Mundaka Upanishad. What is this Upanishad? Upanishads are concluding part of Veda. So Vedas are very important. We know that there is Vedic age. So Upanishads are the concluding part of this Vedas. There are about 108 recognized Upanishads, of which 12 are considered principal Upanishads. And the Satyameva Jayate is taken from Mundaka Upanishad. I am ending up discussion of today's. Please kindly subscribe our channel for future updates.